Well, I'm going to tell you something that most people don't want to believe. They think your 40s and 50s are about playing it safe, about being conservative, about not taking risks anymore. But in my 94 years of living, I've learned that's just not true. Not true at all. See, I'm sitting here in my office in Omaha, and I was just going through some old records from Berkshire, some of our biggest moves, some of our best decisions. They didn't happen when I was 30 or 35. They happened in my 50s, my 60s, even my 70s. When I bought Coca-Cola, I was 58 years old. People said, Warren, you're too old to be making billion-dollar bets on soda. But see, I wasn't too old. I was exactly the right age because I had the experience, the judgment, the patience to recognize what I was looking at. So if you're in your 40s or 50s right now and you think it's too late and you think your best years are behind you, I'm here to tell you that's the biggest lie you've been sold. And I'm going to show you why. You see, the problem most people have at this age is they've internalized a story that says life peaks at 35, maybe 40, and then it's all downhill from there. They think, well, I'm 45 now. I missed my window. I should have bought that property when I was 30. I should have started that business when I was 25. I should have invested when I was younger. And that gets them into trouble, real trouble. Because, see, when you believe it's too late, you stop trying. You stop learning. You stop taking smart risks. And instead, you do one of two things. Either you become reckless, desperately trying to make up for lost time by chasing hot stocks or speculative investments or some cryptocurrency that your nephew told you about, or, and this is more common, you give up entirely. You put your money in a savings account earning nothing. You stay in a job you hate because it's safe. And you tell yourself, well, at least I've got my 401k. That'll have to be enough. I've watched this happen over and over again. People in their 40s and 50s, talented people, smart people, they just stop believing in themselves. And every single time, the result is the same. They reach 65 or 70, and they look back with regret. They think, I could have done more. I should have tried. Now, I don't want that for you. I really don't. Because here's what I know from experience. Your 40s and 50s can be the most productive, the most profitable, the most meaningful decades of your life, but only if you approach them correctly. But here's what I do instead. Here's what's worked for me. First, I recognize what I actually have at this age. And see, what you have in your 40s and 50s is something no 2 5-year-old can buy. You have experience. Now, that probably sounds too simple. People always think it's got to be more complicated than that, but it's not. Let me give you an example. When I was in my 30s, I made some investments that, well, they didn't work out. I bought a textile mill, Berkshire Hathaway, actually, thinking I could turn it around. Spent years trying, and it was a mistake, a big one. But see, that mistake taught me something. It taught me about dying industries, about the difference between a cheap company and a good company. And that lesson, that expensive lesson, it saved me millions, probably billions over the next decades. When you're in your 40s or 50s, you've made mistakes too. Maybe you've lost money. Maybe you've changed careers. Maybe you've failed at something good. Because see, that failure, that's your advantage. You know what doesn't work, you know what to avoid. A 5-year-old has to learn everything from scratch. You don't. Second advantage, judgment. At Berkshire, we've been doing this for decades. And one thing I've learned is that good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. When I look at an investment now, I can see things I couldn't see at 35. I can spot red flags faster. I can recognize patterns. I know when management is feeding me nonsense and when they're telling the truth. And you have that too. In your field, in your work, in your life, you can see things that younger people simply can't. That's worth something. That's worth a lot. Third advantage, resources. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Warren, I don't have resources. I'm behind on my retirement. I've got college tuition to pay. But see, compared to when you were 25, you probably have more than you think. Maybe you've got some equity in a home. Maybe you're earning more than you did 20 years ago, and maybe your kids are getting older and expenses are dropping. And even if you don't have much, here's what you do have. Time. Let me show you the math. Real numbers. The kind of numbers I look at every day. If you're 45 years old right now and you invest $10,000, just $10,000 in a simple S&P 500 index fund that averages 10% a year, by the time you're 65, that $10,000 becomes about $67,000. Now, if you can add just $300 a month, $300 over those 20 years, that brings your total to over $237,000. See the difference? That's real wealth we're talking about. And that's why this matters. You're not too old. You're not too late. The math still works. So here's what you actually do. Here's the plan. See, this is where people mess up. They look at some 30-year-old tech founder who just sold a company for $50 million, and they think, I'm a failure. I should have done that. But that's not your game. You're not playing their game. You're playing a different game, a better game. I never tried to be the youngest billionaire. Never cared about that. What I cared about was being consistent, being smart, being patient. And you know what? That worked out pretty well. A lot of people in their 40s and 50s, they think they need to be conservative. They move everything into bonds or cash because they're getting close to retirement. But see, if you're 45 or 50, you've probably got 30, 35, maybe 40 years left. That's not short term. That's long term. So you can still be in stocks. You should be in stocks, not 100%, but a good portion. I always recommend a simple mix, 70-80% in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, 20-30% in bonds. That's it. Nothing fancy. And then you just leave it alone. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when it goes down. Don't get greedy when it goes up. Just let it compound. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Really interesting. See, at 25, you're just starting out. You don't know much. You're not worth much to an employer. But at 45 or 50, you know things. You have skills. You have a network. You have credibility. So use that. Maybe you ask for a raise. Maybe you switch to a better paying job. Maybe you start a side business doing consulting or freelancing in your field. I'll tell you what I've learned. Your 40s and 50s are your peak earning years. You should be making more money now than you ever have. And if you're not, that's a problem you need to fix. Here's something nobody tells you. And I mean, the reason most people in their 40s and 50s don't have money isn't because they don't earn enough. It's because they spend everything they make. You get a raise, you buy a bigger house. You get a bonus, you buy a nicer car. Your income goes up 50%. Your spending goes up 50%. And at the end of the year, you're in the same place you were before. Actually, you're worse off because now you've got higher fixed costs. I learned this the hard way back in my 30s, not with my own money, but watching other people. And what that taught me is you've got to live below your means, not at your means, below. I still live in the same house I bought in 1958. Paid $31,500 for it. Could I afford something bigger? Sure, but why? This house works fine. It's comfortable, and the money I didn't spend on some mansion, that money's been compounding for 60 plus years. That's the mindset. See, a lot of people at this age, they're looking backward. They're thinking about what they didn't do, what they missed, what they should have tried. But I'm telling you, look forward. You might have 20, 30, maybe 40 years ahead of you. What are you going to do with that time? Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to write a book or learn a language or spend more time with your grandkids. Whatever it is, start planning for it now, and don't wait until you're 65 and then try to figure it out. Because see, retirement isn't about stopping. It's about doing what you want to do instead of what you have to do. And the sooner you get clear on that, the better. Now, I want to shift gears for a minute because we've been talking a lot about money, and money matters. It really does. But at 94 years old, I can tell you, money is not the most important thing. The most important thing is time. Time with the people you love. Time doing things that matter to you. Time living. I remember when I turned 50, I was incredibly busy. Berkshire was growing. We were making acquisitions. I was working 12, 14 hours a day. And I loved it. I still do, actually. I still go to the office every day. Can't help myself. But if I'm being honest with you, and I always try to be, I miss some things. I miss time with my wife, Susie. She passed away in 2004, and I think about her every single day. And sometimes I think I wish I'd spent more time with her. Not because I didn't love her. I did more than anything. But because I took it for granted, I thought we'd always have more time. But we didn't. So if you're in your 40s or 50s right now, and you've got people you love, don't make that mistake. Work hard. Build something. Invest. Save. Do all those things. But also be present. Show up. Call your parents. Spend time with your kids. Go on that trip with your spouse. Because see, the money will still be there tomorrow. The business will still be there. The opportunities will still be there. But the people, the moments, those don't wait. You know, at 94 years old, I've learned that life isn't about getting everything right. It's not about being the richest person in the cemetery. It's not about having the biggest house or the fanciest car or the most impressive resume. This isn't about getting rich quick. It never has been. It's about building something sustainable, something meaningful, something that lasts. It's about making smart decisions, learning from your mistakes, and playing the long game. See, I've been playing the long game for over 70 years now, and what I've learned is that patience wins, consistency wins, discipline wins. Not every time. Some years you'll lose. Some years will be tough. But over time, over decades, it works. And when you understand that, when you really understand it, everything else becomes easier. You stop panicking when the market drops. You stop chasing hot tips. You stop comparing yourself to other people. The decisions become clearer. The path becomes obvious. So if you're in your 40s or 50s and you're worried that you're behind, that you've missed your chance, that it's too late, let me tell you something. It's not too late. You've still got time. You've still got opportunities. You've still got decades ahead of you. But you've got to start. You've got to take that first step. Maybe it's opening an investment account. Maybe it's sitting down with a financial planner. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with your spouse about money. Maybe it's asking for that raise. Maybe it's cutting back on expenses. Whatever it is, do it today. Not next week. Not next month. Today. Because see, time is the one thing you can't get back. You can always make more money. You can always learn new skills. You can fix almost anything. But you can't make more time. So take your time. Think this through. Make smart decisions. Be patient. Be disciplined. And make the decision that's right for you. Not what's right for your neighbor. Not what some talking head on TV says. But what's right for you, for your family, for your situation. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You living your life on your terms with the people you love, doing things that matter. That's success. That's what I've learned in 94 years. And I really hope you'll take some of this to heart because you deserve it. You really do.